In this short tutorial, we are going to look at the Remove tool. The Remove tool is one of the new tools and, in my opinion, is one of the best new additions to Photoshop in the recent years. So, as the name suggests, the Remove tool allows you to remove distracting objects from your image, and it's very straightforward to use. So, the tool usually resides in the healing brush group on the tools panel, and if you can't see it, then maybe you need to click on these three dots and then click on Edit Toolbar and then find it in the extra tools, and then you would be able to drag and drop it to this area. Okay, so let's see how this tool works. In order to keep this edit non-destructive, I'm going to create a new blank layer. So I'm going to press Command-Shift-N, and for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to call this layer number 1, like this. Then I'm going to click on Sample All Layers and remove after each stroke, like this. So now if I zoom in, then I can adjust my brush size using the bracket keys as with other brush-based tools like this. So I can just click, hold, and draw around the area that I want to remove. I don't even need to fill in the middle because Photoshop is going to fill it in for me, like this. So if I move to another area, like this, I can reduce the brush size by pressing and holding Control and Option keys like this. And then once again, I can just draw over an area that I want to get rid of, like this and like this. If I make an adjustment like this, sometimes you may need to go over an area a few times before you are happy with the result. But I think this actually works extremely well, because if you were to do this manually with the stamp tool, for instance, this could take a little bit of time. It wouldn't be that easy. Like this. Okay, another thing you can try to do is sometimes this tool actually works really well with larger areas like this. So I can try to remove this boat like this. Okay, and what I found is that the selection itself can actually make a big difference. So let's try to compare two different selections. So I'm going to create a new blank layer. I will call this one number 2. I will turn this one off, and then once again make a selection, but this time I'm going to select a wider area. So I'm going to select a little bit more of the scene surrounding the boat, because I think that this will make it easier for Photoshop to blend things in like this. And as you can see, if we compare these two, so this is the first and this was the second. Another way that we can use the tool is, for example, if we wanted to remove this yellow shaft cover, we could untick this checkbox that says remove after each stroke, like this, and then you can make a selection like this, release the mouse, Photoshop will fill in the blanks, and then add to this area like this. But you don't want to be super precise, so you want to include a little bit of an area surrounding the object that you want to get rid of. In case that you need to tidy up your selection, you can add to it like this, and if you want to take away from the selection, you can press and hold the Option key like this, and then tidy it up a little bit like this. And then when you are ready, you can either press this button or press Enter on the keyboard like this. And then once again, we may need to do this a few times until we get it right. Now for this area, I'm going to create a new blank layer. I will call this one number 3. So if I try to remove these bits, for example, like this, and then try to remove this bit. Now Photoshop sometimes makes a mistake, so I may need to play around with this bit, and then to fix the remove tools adjustment, I can create a mask on top of this layer, then use a brush, paint it black, and then just mask off the areas that I think I need to bring back, like this, for example. You will probably find if you try to remove a much larger area, so when we try to remove this boat, I think this worked really well, but if you try to remove an even larger area, like for example like this, the remove tool may not work as well. So you have to experiment with it and see when it works for you. So in my opinion, this tool is not a replacement for all the other tools in Photoshop, like the clone stamp tool, the healing brush tool, the generative fill, etc. But it's an amazing addition and just another tool at our disposal.